Alright, in this unit we're going to talk about segments and their measures. When I'm talking about that, the first thing we're going to talk about is a postulate. And I want you to know that a postulate is a statement that you must accept without proof. It's always a true statement. Nobody's going to prove it. It's basically what I call common sense. Distance is length, and length is always positive. It's a measurement from one point to another. There is a distance formula that says the absolute value of A minus B, which means that your answer will always be a positive answer. But really, the easiest way to do this is to think about a number line. And if you have a number line and you have 0 on it, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the other direction you've got -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, so on. Not a perfect number line whatsoever, but you're counting the distance from, say, 7 to 11. So if I went out here to 7 and I counted to 11, there's a distance of 4. You can use the formula, which would just simply be absolute value of A minus B, which gives you absolute value of -4, but absolute value of -4 is 4. I find it just as easy to count. It is up to you whether or not you use the formula. The distance between -8 and -10, that is over here. -8 and -10, there's a distance of 2. If you use the formula, you would be doing absolute value of -8 minus -10. Absolute value of -8, this would make this a positive 10. It gives you absolute value of 2, and absolute value of 2 is a positive 2. The distance between 3 and 27 is 24. You can count 24 spots between 3 and 27. The same with -5 and -12. Those are on the same side here. The distance between those is 7. Again, you can use the formula every time, but I'm not even going to show that every time. Now, this one right here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is way out here. The distance between -4 and 12, the most common mistake is people want to say the answer is 8. That's not true. Look at the picture up here. I've got a distance of 4 because I have to get to the 0. And then I have to go all the way to 12, which is another 12 units. So I have a total of 16 units. How do you see that in the formula? Well, it'd be -4 minus 12. Absolute value of -16 is a positive 16. Same thing here. You don't just take 23 minus 8. It doesn't work like that. You're starting whenever you're in the negatives, you got to go to the 8 or go to the 0 and then go clear out here to 23. So that's actually going to be an answer of 31. Using the formula, that would be -8 minus 23. The absolute value of -31 is 31. You can simply count, or you can use that formula. The Rooted postulate says that there's only one number for every point on the number line, and that there's a positive distance between 2 points. Between means that when you have 3 points that are collinear, okay, these 3 points are collinear, one of the points must be between the other two, so one is trapped between the two of them. Congruent are two objects that have the same shape and size. Congruent segments, two congruent segments, this is the symbol for being congruent right here, are two segments that have the same length. Segment addition. I love segment addition. It makes sense to me. It says if I have a small segment AB and I have another small segment BC, it will equal the whole big segment AC. I like to say that this makes an umbrella. Can you guys see the umbrella? So I like to refer to that as the umbrella postulate, but it is segment addition. Let's use segment addition to find these answers. It says in the first example that I have 6 here, and I have 10 here, so now I'm supposed to find the length of AC. Well, that must just simply be 16. Starting over, I'm going to relabel my line here. I've got AC is 12, and AB is 4. I'm supposed to find BC. Notice the umbrella of this segment addition. 4 plus what gives me 12? Well, that must be 8. In this next problem, I'm supposed to decide if these are true or false. What I'm going to do is just connect these points. So AC and CE equal AE? Yes, they do. Notice how each one of these does not have a segment bar over top of it because I'm talking about the actual length. If I'm talking about the actual segment, I put the segment bar over top, but when I'm talking about the actual length, I do not put that line over top. In this example, I'm going to have AC and DF equal AF. No, it does not, because look at that gap between here. We've left off that little bit of segment C. So this one is false. That first one was true. This next one, I've got FD and DB are equal to FB. Yes, see the umbrella. So this is true. Last one of those, I've got BD and CE make BE. No, see that crossover there? That's not that umbrella, so this has to be false. This tells me that B is between A and C, and it tells me that AB is X and BC is X plus 6, and it tells me that AC is 24. So there's my umbrella. That's a fat umbrella, but it is an umbrella. I can find both of those lengths by adding my two small ones together, which equals my large one. When I do that, and I solve for X, I end up getting X is 9. That allows me to find AB. AB is right here. AB is 9. And BC, if I plug 9 in here, I got 9 plus 6, so BC is 15. So my answers are 9 and 15. The midpoint of a segment is exactly that. The midpoint is the middle, okay? It's going to divide them into two equal parts. Another word is bisects. Cut that into two equal parts. So a bisect of a segment cuts the line or the segment or the ray, it cuts the segment into two equal parts, but it could be a line, a ray, or a segment that does that. So in these examples, I have M being the midpoint. Let's go ahead and solve these problems. If I tell you that MB is 9, and this is the middle of it, this also has to be 9, so the entire length has to be 18. In my next example, they tell me that the whole length is 8. So I'm supposed to figure this part out. Well, I know these two are equal, so that means if I divide 8 in equal parts, they'd both be 4. I still know that M is the midpoint, but this time I need to write an equation. They tell me that I have this as X plus 7, and this one is 3X minus 5. So I know that they're equal to each other because a midpoint cuts this into two equal parts, so I'll set them equal to each other and solve. So when I solve, I end up getting 2x minus 5, and then I add 5 to both sides, which gives me 2x is 12, and so x is 6. And then when I plug that back in to find AM, I will end up getting 6 plus 7, which is the answer of 13. My next example, notice I'm given the same two things. I'm given the AM, which is right here, is 2x plus 8. And I'm given MB, right here, is 4x plus 6. Those are equal measurements. So I'm going to set an equation equal to each other, or set the two segments equal to each other. Subtracting 2x from both sides, I get 2x plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides, I get 2. And so my x value is 1. When I plug 1 in for AB, there is no AB. So I'll plug it in for AM. 2 times 1 plus 8, that's 10. And I can plug it in here, but I better also get 10 because those are equal parts, and I do get 10. So that means the whole length, because this is 10 and this is 10, the whole length is 20. In this example, I'm not given the two smaller parts. I'm given MB, which is right here, and I'm given AB, which is the entire length. Now, those are definitely not equal to each other. But if I take two of the yellow ones, if I find two of those, I can set it equal to the whole length. Because it takes two of those, since that's the middle, to make the whole length. This gives me 2x plus 6 equals 5x minus 9. When I subtract 2x from both sides, I end up getting 6 equals 3x minus 9. I'll add 9 to both sides, which gives me 15. And then I'll divide by 3, which gives me x is 5. I will take that and plug that back in for my 5 here. This gives me 25 minus 9. 25 minus 9 is 16. So my answer to AB is 16. Last example, same type of thing. AB is the whole length, and AM is not the whole length. So I need 2 of those blues this time. 2 of these blue ones, 2 of the smaller ones will equal the larger one. When I do that and I distribute, I get 4x plus 26 equals 8x plus 10. Subtract 4x from both sides. I get 26 equals 4x plus 10. Subtract 10 from both sides, I get 16. And then x is 4. Now, MB is the same length as this blue one as AM. So I'm just going to take 4 and plug it in here. So I have 2 times 4 plus 13. That ends up giving me 21 because that's 8 plus 13. So 21 is my answer.